Hello everyone, so I am back and in the previous videos we have already seen what map and unordered map are. In this video we are just going to list down some of the basic differences and when you should choose map and when you should choose unordered map. So while explaining in those two videos I have already listed the differences, like talked about it, but in this video I'm just going to consolidate all the differences. So let's just get started. The first and foremost point is how they are stored. So as we have already discussed, just give me a minute. Okay. Yeah. So as we have already discussed that in map, the elements are stored in the sorted form in form of key, right? So all the elements are sorted by key. We have seen in the map video, so if you have not watched it, just check it out. And in unordered map there is no such ordering. So if you want your values to be in the sorted form or in the ordering, you should go for map. If it doesn't matter to you for your use case, you should go for unordered map. Why, I will tell you later. Now let's come to implementation. So maps are basically implemented as a self-balanced tree, mostly like red black tree, right? So that's why these are sorted. So whenever you add it or delete any element, it will rebalance itself because it's a self-balancing DS tree. On other case, the unordered map are stored in the form of hash tables. So if you're not familiar with what hashing is, I'll make a separate video on it, but for now you can just list it as something like an array, and you first have to you will have a hash function. So whatever key is there, you will have provide the hash function and get a hash value. Okay, so whatever hash value you will get, the value will be stored in that bucket, and if there are multiple keys with the same hash value, it will be stored like it. That condition is called collision, and then you can form a list out of it, right? So this is just an overview. I think most of you guys are familiar with what hashing and hash table are, but if you're not, don't worry, I will make a separate video out of it. So yeah, so this is the basic difference. Now the basic complexity or time complexity is different because of these two things. Hashing, if you are familiar, is a O of 1 technique. So yeah, the next is basically how the searching will work, which is time complexity. So in case of unordered map, it will be O of 1 because we just need to form the hash function and get the hash value, right? But if there are multiple collisions, the worst case can be O of n. Why? Because if all the elements are just present in one bucket, right? So suppose this itself, so whenever there is a collision, it will just go one by one and search for the element. So in the worst case, if all the elements are there in the same bucket, it will linearly search through it, and the worst case will be O of n. While in case of map, because it's a binary tree, BST, binary search tree, and so it will take O of log n, right? If you're familiar with how BSTs work. Now insert will also take, in case of map, O of n time, and again it will rebalance itself, right? Because we saw that it's always in the balancing time, so whatever the rebalancing complexity is there, it will take that. While in case of unordered map, it will be same, like the best case will be O of 1 and the worst case will be O of n. Deletion is also same as insertion. So now the main question comes, like, if you are given a use case, how will you know that you need to choose map or unordered map? See, if you don't need to need the elements to be in the sorted form, you should ideally go for unordered map. Why? Because it is fast. Yes, the worst case is O of n, but that practically never happens. It's very, it will always be better than a map if at least O of and log n members are not there in the same bucket, and that practically having so many elements in the same bucket is not possible, right? So ideally you should use unordered map if you don't need it in a sorted. And the other scenario where the maps can be used is, if you remember in the map video, I talked about lower bound and upper bound function, right? Lower bound, upper bound, and range deletion. So these are basically the range operations where you can get some range how where these elements are stored. So if you need something like that, you should go for a map, because in map you actually know how it is stored in a sorted form, so it becomes pretty easy if you want to perform any range query, right? For example, suppose your map has something keys like 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, and some values, right? And your use case says that you need to delete the values which are from 5 to 9, like the keys are from 5 to 9. So in that case, it is better to use a map, because you know it is in the form of sorted form and you can easily pick and choose and delete it. So this is just one example. In any case that you need it, the ordering to be in some form, you should go for map. Otherwise, in most of the cases, you should go for unordered map, because its access time, its time complexity is over 1, right? So these are some of the basic differences. If you want me to add something or just go into detail how hash tables or self-balancing trees are implemented, do let me know in the comment section below, and hit that like button if you really like this video. Bye bye.